So let's get to the dominant triads. Okay, here we go. So let me make a loop of we'll do it in G. Let's switch it up. We'll go to G7. Okay, so our upper structure triads for dominant chords. Let's start with the same process that we did for the minor and the major. So we're going to make, take our lower structure triad, the G, B, D. If we keep going up and make that B the lowest note, we have B, D, F. So that's a B diminished triad. Okay, so whenever we have a B diminished triad with a G on bottom, we've got a G7 chord, right? And that's just our basic vanilla G7. You've probably played it like this, right? Same thing. It's a B diminished triad with a G in the bass. So anywhere you have your B diminished triad, throw a G under it, and you've got a G7 chord. There's another one up here. Throw a G underneath. There we go. Right? Make sense? Sweet. Okay. Continuing on with that, if we keep going, we've got, we can take D as being the lowest note. We have D, F, A. Okay, so now we've got the 5th, 7th, and 9th. So that adds the 9th into there. So if we keep that B, and we have B, D, F, A, we have a B half diminished, or B minor 7 flat 5. So that makes a G9 chord without the G, right? Because we've got 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, and we're just missing the G. So if you're playing with a bass player or an organist or something, or a play along, you can use your B half diminished chord voicings as a G9 chord. This voicing right here, same thing here. It's so useful because there's so many different uses for it. If you put a G underneath it, becomes a G9 chord. If you just have the B, think of it as a B chord. It's a B minor 7 flat 5. If you take this the D and put it on bottom, you have a G minor 6. So it can be a minor 6 chord, a dominant chord, or a half diminished. Pretty cool, right? Anyway, so that's taking that D minor. So that means, like we did with the other ones, let's take the D minor pentatonic and see what that gives us over a G7 chord. So here's my G7 chord. It's more of a kind of sus sound. Sweet. Okay. So that D minor pentatonic works over the G7. D minor triads will work over the G. Right? Because we've got the 5th, 7th, and 9th. We just don't have the 3rd, So anywhere you have your D minor triad, put a G underneath it, and you've got a G9 chord with no 3rd. Pretty cool, right? Cool. Okay, let's keep it going. So from F sharp, we would have F sharp, A, C. That would give us kind of like a sus sound. That would be not F sharp, F, A, C. That gives us kind of a sus sound. We've got the 7th, 9th, and the 11th. So F major pentatonic is the same as D minor pentatonic, but we can use that F triad over a G for a G9 sus4. I use this chord all the time. Resolves nicely to a C. You know what I mean? Right? So G sus and G9 sus4. And that's just an F major triad over a G. These are a few of them. Okay, cool. Let's keep it going. The next one after F would make A the lowest note, and we can have A, C, E, the A minor triad, and that would also give us kind of a sus sound. We have a 9. This time we have a 13, so it'd be like a G sus4 with a 13. But no 7. So we kind of need that 7. So I don't really do the A minor that much. It just takes it too far away from the function of what you're wanting to get across when you're playing a dominant chord. Okay, so now let's get some that are not from the Mixolydian. That was all Mixolydian. All right, so let's get some upper structure triads that are not from the Mixolydian that give us some other types of sounds. Okay, so the process I went through for figuring this stuff out was different than what we've been doing so far. This was like just trial and error. So, I like to see people's thought process. So this is my thought process. It's like, okay, let's take major triads and see what works, right? We know that G major is going to work. What about A flat major? That sounds cool to me. Okay, so that's an A flat major triad. It's basically a A flat major 7 with G in the bass. So that's an A flat major triad over G. What does that give us? Gives us the flat 9, gives us the sus4, and the flat 13. Interesting. So let's see what it sounds like in like context in a 2-5-1. Right? Because that's a lot of times where we'll use a dominant 7 chord as a 5 chord going to 1. So let's just see how it works. I'm going to play 2-5-1 D minor 7, G7, and I'm not really playing any extensions, just the skeleton voicings. So D minor 7, G7, C major 7. Here we go. I'm going to loop it. When it gets to the G7 now, I'm going to play an A flat major triad. Let's see what happens. I think it works. What do you think? Let me know. That A flat definitely works for me, for my ear, because everything can kind of resolve nicely. That A flat can resolve down to a G. The C, it can stay or go down to a B, and the E flat can go down to the 9th to the D, or it can go up to the 3rd. Pretty cool, right? So that's the A flat. How about A? Okay, we've probably used this one before, but maybe in a major 7 context. How about in a dominant context? This is A over G. Right, so we've got the in our A chord, A is the 9th, C sharp is the sharp 11 or flat 5, and the E is the 13. All those should work, right? So let's see what it sounds like in context of a 2-5-1. So I'm going to play D minor stuff, then I'm going to play A major stuff, and I'm going to try to resolve it to C major. Okay, so let's see what happens. Kind of works, right? Not the best. Ooh, okay, so B flat now. I think this will work. We've got the flat 7, sharp 9, 5th. So that's a B flat major triad. The B flat is the sharp 9. I mean, is the minor 3rd, but we can think of that as the sharp 9. Same thing as an A sharp instead of a B flat. And then the F is the 7th. And the D is the 5th. So that should work, right? Let's see. It's something, you know. It makes sense, but it's not the most interesting, in my opinion. Okay, so that was B flat. B, we got that major 7 in there. So that might not be the best. We do have the major 3rd and the sharp 5. So it might work. Let's try it. Okay, here we go. I don't need to count it off. I kind of like it. That's pretty cool. So that's playing the B major over G7. C major. We're going to C major. Why get there early? You know what I mean? C sharp major or D flat major. We know that's going to work. That's the tritone substitution, right? So tritone substitution is a chord that shares a tritone. So the D flat 7 has F as its 3rd and C flat as its 7th, right? So there's a D flat 7. And G7 has an F as its 7th and a B as its 3rd. Same thing as C flat, right? So these two are tritone subs. So this D flat major triad should work theoretically, right? It's a tritone sub. So let's see. Yeah. Yeah, that totally works. D flat. Okay. D. The D, not so much. We got 9th, 5th, and major 7. We probably don't want that, right? It's not going to be a strong resolution. E flat. We've got the sharp 9. I'm just playing an E flat triad here. The B flat is the sharp 9. Well, it would be A sharp. The E flat would be the flat 13, and then the G is the root. So that could make sense, right? It'd be D minor. Yeah, D minor. Yeah, that should work. That should work. Okay, let's try it. Yeah, that works. Okay. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay, D major. Sorry, E major. This one, yeah, that'll be cool. Because we got the major third, we got the flat 9, and a natural 13. I hope I'm not like going off the rails just nerding out about this stuff, but you guys like that stuff, right? Okay, so we have, this will be kind of cool. We have this descending triad because we've got the F major triad on top of the D minor 7. Then we're going to have the E major triad on top of the G. And what if we go to a D major triad on top of the C? So we have this. Ooh. Okay, let's see what that sounds like real quick. Oh, I played E flat instead. Here we go. I thought it sounded pretty cool. So that was E over the G7 chord. E major triad over the G7 chord, giving us the third, the 13, and the sharp 5. Or sharp 9, sorry, sharp 9. F we already did. You know, that gives us the 7th, 9th, and sus4. F sharp. I like to avoid anything that's got an F sharp as far as resolving to C, but it might work. I don't know. Let's try it. So F sharp major triad over a G7 chord, resolving to a C. Could work. I mean, that C sharp can go up to a D. I don't know. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Trial and error, right? Mostly error. Oh, that was E. Kind of works, actually. So the long and short of it is over a dominant 7 chord, you can play almost any major triad and it kind of works, right? So I'll do another video on triad pairs because that's where stuff starts to get really cool. And you know, I've read a bunch of stuff on triad pairs, and they kind of just give you like, okay, this pair of triads works, but I'm more interested in like the how and the why. So I'm going to get into why these things work and how I came up with them for my own understanding. Excellent. Okay, so I will see you guys on the next one, and have fun with this. And if you make something cool out of it, I would love to hear it. All right, I'll see you next time.